Hello, this is David Cobb with Archon Commercial Advisors. I'm here with Adhav, the founder and CEO of Leasecake. I'm very excited to have Taj here on the interview to discuss what's going on with your company. Both of us have a passion for marketing, commercial real estate, and technology, even though we're operating in kind of different oceans or different fields, even though they're all interconnected. And so I would love to hear your story and then what Leasecake is doing, and just really delve into what's going on with trends in commercial real estate as well.
Yeah, happy to do so. David, thanks a lot for inviting me, appreciate it. So effectively, really, Leasecake is lease and location management made easy. And it really was started by this simple question that was really over a cup of coffee at a diner. And the question was this: if everybody in business owns or leases commercial real estate, where's the app for that?
Right.
And so my background as a CPA for 15 years in Big Four, spent a decade at Disney as an Imagineer. I've been involved in lots of large-scale projects and businesses.
Very cool.
I was fortunate enough to leave and land in a technology startup company here in Orlando as an early hire. Fast forward, while I was a CPA, I moved into business development. I left my CPA work behind because I found it was a lot more fun to really build teams and companies and truly solve problems. So 13 years later, Google acquired us, great feather in our cap.
That's awesome.
And made a little bit of money, but I think more importantly was the journey about how do you find really great talent to solve really big problems. And 5 years later, I ended up having that cup of coffee at a diner with a buddy that was in commercial real estate. And he was kind of struggling with those same kinds of things. I'm losing track of renewal options. I'm losing track of rent bumps. I'm losing track of lease expirations. And he said, geez, there's got to be an easier way. So as a kind of creative person, technology person, I said, man, it's dates and dollars and reminders. We should develop this. I didn't do anything with the idea for 2 years. I'll be totally frank. 2 years go by, I got invited to a Techstars event, and it was a global startup weekend. And it turns out, when I reluctantly pitched the idea, got caught up in the swell, we ended up winning Orlando that weekend. So it was build a company in 54 hours.
Wow.
2 weeks later, we won North America, the region. And then 2 weeks after that, we won globally across 58 countries.
That's no way, really. That's amazing.
And so that happened less than 4 years ago, David.
Yeah.
But really speaking, it does come back to what that question was, right? Everybody in business owns or leases commercial real estate. It does seem that globally there is a problem, and it was validated by that competition. So what do we have today? Today we've got thousands of locations within Leasecake. It is proactively keeping track of all the things that matter in a real estate lease for tenants, for brokers, as well as landlords, because brokers want to make money, right? Brokers don't want to leave money on the table, and they're always looking for ways to, how do I stay top of mind with my client, right? I've made that big fat commission check, and that's awesome, and I want to move on and find the next deal. But chances are that tenant that they just placed in the building could be on a roll with going from 3 locations to 30 locations or 300 locations. So we have the insight that allows that broker to say, hey, you know what? Your brand is going to be front and center for every one of those notifications, and your client's going to love you, and your name is stickier, and for the next 9.5 years, they'll always know who you are. And by the way, it just enables you to just really get exposure to more transactions, more visibility to your client's portfolio. And we're doing it so differently. So we're really about, hey, where's the easy button? Easy button's with Leasecake, right? So I love the play on words, and it rhymes with cheesecake, and it's got to be a piece of cake. So that's like, where is the app for lease and location management? And so our customers call us, hey, you're like the LinkedIn of lease management. We're like the Dropbox of lease management.
Exactly.
So that's kind of the quick story. We're super excited to be here working with you guys. And, I think this is, we're on the cusp of truly new transformation, right? Prop tech has originated 4 or 5 years ago, that whole buzzword, and it covers a lot of different sectors. But to have something that is consumer-centric designed, that is easy to consume and easy to understand, that's what's been missing, right? It's hard to make things easy. It's we use the analogy oftentimes, which is, when was the last time you opened the instruction manual to use Facebook, right? Or to use LinkedIn, or to use Dropbox, or to use Gmail, right? it's got to be intuitive.
Yep.
And these enterprise applications that everyone in the broker community is familiar with,
Yeah.
they're all cloud-based, or most of them are, but they're not intuitive and instinctive where you can say, I want to sign up now, I want to start using the account. And whether you're a CEO, whether you're the assistant to the CEO, and all the different levels in between, VPs of real estate, asset managers, CFOs, COOs, everybody needs easy.
Yeah.
Right?
Automation, right?
So this is, exactly, it's about automation. You don't need to do anything. Let Leasecake handle all of the lease information for you, and then just let the engine of technology help propel your stickiness in your brand in front of your clients, and help you propel your deal flow.
Yeah. You know what's interesting about what you said? I mean, we're talking right now about how technology is fundamentally transforming commercial real estate.
Right.
And you and I talk about it a lot because, like I said, we are kind of we're on parallel paths, but we're kind of in different sectors of it. And so what I've seen about commercial real estate that's interesting is it's fundamentally a relationship-driven business, right?
100%.
I mean, you see the guys, the guys that are successful developers, the executives of the real estate investment trusts, architecture firms, construction. Like you said, every business is involved in it somehow, or at least most of them. If anybody that has any types of bricks and mortar office is definitely involved in it. So we obviously have what I would consider a small group of people that have influence on massive, segments of industries, different industries throughout the world. And one of the things about real estate is, with it being a fundamentally relationship-driven business, is a lot of the people with influence tend to be older, having that tenure to have been in the business long enough to build those relationships, right? I mean, it takes 10 years before you really start feeling like you really can go out and make those calls, get those answers quick, have that influence. And so, as kind of just a symptom of that is that the commercial real estate industry business, when it comes to technology and specifically social media, and I've also seen it with the kind of bringing in different processes, is they're a little resistant to it. It's not the kids that grew up with smartphones. I didn't have a cell phone until after college, which probably makes a lot of people's jaws drop out there. But it's getting the influential people, the leaders, the decision makers on board. But I'll tell you what I'm starting to see recently is everybody's starting to get it. COVID accelerated it. There's so much more going on LinkedIn. I mean, I'm a LinkedIn expert with the book and all that kind of stuff. The other mediums on social marketing are picking up as well. And then I'm seeing a lot of movement of people that were in the traditional leasing, brokerage, development world that are now taking positions at technology companies in commercial real estate. I can think of 3 friends of mine that were traditional brokers that just took jobs at technology firms. So you can tell there's trends going on, and you can tell what I think is that the adept executors in commercial real estate have to embrace technology, they have to embrace personal branding, they have to embrace a new form of networking, and if they automate their processes, it will give them more time to go tackle their deals.
Absolutely. And so the parallel that we saw, just to reinforce what you just said, is during COVID, we thought February of 2020, oh my gosh, things are going to slow down. We had 6.5 people in the company, and obviously, we're a real estate technology play. Let's brace ourselves.
Yeah.
For a bit of that slowdown, we saw the complete opposite.
Yep.
We saw explosive growth, record number of new customers that are saying, I need a better system to keep track of my stuff.
Yeah.
And they were really looking and being forward leaning into technology is the solution, right? Good enough is not good enough anymore. And complacency has to say, we have to leave that behind.
Yeah.
Because what we saw is really what you're saying, right? It is the ones that get it, they get stronger. So our theme has been the strong get stronger during COVID and post-COVID, but the weaker ones, or the ones that are just trying to get by, they don't want to be left behind.
Right.
So the theme is lean into it, embrace it. No one wants to hire a team of 5 real estate people at a large Papa John's franchisee or a large franchisor. They don't need that. If you use technology smart, then you can more efficiently manage your team, in your deal flow. Same parallel with brokers, right?
Yeah.
It's like just use technology and you can be still a lean, mean machine, but make more money.
Yep. And in my book, I talk about it. Similar concept is I say, will you be LinkedIn or linked out? And on the flip side of the marketing side, what I'm telling people is that, okay, so you've been in the business for a while, you've got great accounts, you've got great relationships. If that's you and you just want to walk off into the sunset, that's cool. But if you are like me, where you own a company, you run a brokerage firm, you run a development company, you run an architecture firm, you're an attorney, or you just want to be a part of something that's growing, you have to embrace the new type of networking that LinkedIn is going to be there to stay. People are looking for relevance reminders all the time. And if your competitor is out there posting what they're doing on LinkedIn, doing very cool stuff, executing on deals, and people are perpetually seeing that, they will have a fundamental advantage on you. It's just par for the course.
Clearly. Just because I did a deal with them yesterday or 7.5 years ago doesn't mean you have to rely on those old school. Let me email them. Let me phone them. That is gone, right?
Yep.
It's all about LinkedIn. It's about having immediacy and connectivity with an application, and that's where people need to be. So we're not going back.
Yeah.
Right?
And building relationships is a lot about asks and gives, and we all know the people that just go ask, the used car salesman, right? But when you're with LinkedIn, you can do very, very cool stuff to help people promote their business or their brand or bring them into something. Like every time I do a deal, and there's another broker involved, even if it's a competitive firm, most of the time we're friendly competitors, I like to tag them, and then it brings in their following and everybody sees it.
Absolutely.
When John Crossman first dropped his book, I gave it as a book rec on LinkedIn, and I couldn't believe more people didn't do stuff like that, just to say hi to John, haven't talked to him in a while, we do deals together, we're friends, and he was very appreciative of that. And that's a gesture that really, it doesn't cost you anything financially. It brings goodwill to not just him, but other people that see it, and it's almost just like a no-brainer. Like if I was offered $10 million of free billboard signs versus keeping my LinkedIn, I would turn down the $10 million of free billboard signs, without a doubt.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it is definitely. It's a relationship business, and how often do you get those LinkedIn requests? Hey, let's connect on LinkedIn. They give us nice little intro, but then somewhere in your gut, I bet you tomorrow they're going to say, hey, you want to jump on a call? Like, no, I want to connect with you. Tell me what you can do for me. Give a little bit. Tell me how you can help me propel what I'm doing, and then I can understand what investment that I want to put in this relationship.
Exactly.
So you're exactly right. The ones that are the smartest users of LinkedIn are the ones that, like exactly in your example, I'd love to connect with you, or I don't even connect with you, but I just say, hey, congrats on that deal, that's fantastic. Or, wow, I'm really excited to hear that post that read about that post that you've shared. And that's the circle I think that you really want to keep, right? And it's very easy to kind of weed the garden and say, okay, now I know who my LinkedIn followers are, now I know who I really want to connect with, and they can be competitors, they can be friendly competitors, because in the end, when you lean into technology, right, all ships rise. And that's what's transformed. It's those micro moments, right? The investment of time. It's not going to cost you $10 million of billboard time. It's, if you got a minute, just go ahead and do a forward post, and tag a few people and say, that's awesome.
We do cool little things, like all the time, like Firehouse Subs is one of our clients, Huey Magoo's, whatever. Like when we're out to lunch, we'll just take a picture, maybe even show the food, just like, hey, awesome day at Huey Magoo's. Everybody should check it out. It's the best chicken tenders. And then all of a sudden, it's free advertising for them. And they're very, very appreciative of it. And one of the other tips I would have for people and kind of for you that you can do that I think is unique is we're actually doing it right now. So you're going to come on and take time out of your day to come to the U Club and interview with me, which I'm very appreciative of. And you're going to talk about technology and do that. But Matt, who's behind the camera, who's going to be at the Technology Summit with us, which we'll talk about in a minute, he's going to go ahead and every time we do this, I have him splice up 4 small videos under, anywhere from usually typically 4 to 10 minutes, depending on how the conversation flow goes. And he's going to keep 2 for me to post, and then he's going to have 2 of them fully edited for you to go ahead and post for you. It's a few more minutes of his time. It's not a big financial thing, but now you have two evergreen marketing assets that your company can use forever. And that's a lot more memorable than somebody hitting you up with a flyer or a blast email or something like that. You know what I mean?
Right. Life is nothing but a collection of stories, and if you can visualize it and share it in meaningful ways, then that can ultimately change how people react.
Yep, and it's going to be kind of cool because we're also going to take one of those video clips and we're going to send it to our ghostwriter, because I write a book and I write my own blogs. I don't have time to write the whole newsletter now either. So we're going to send it off to our ghostwriter, and then they're going to write up a little, probably 4 or 5 paragraph summary of what's going on with us, and then it's already in my newsletter. I don't have to write anything. So I've created like 5 or 6 marketing assets from this one thing.
Fantastic. You got it all figured out.
Yeah.
I can't wait to finish your book and, and keep tuning in.
Yeah, no, I'm excited. Thank you for reading my galley copy too. I actually just finished up the final design version yesterday, and so it's off to the printer. So it's going to be available for sale in Austin at the Technology Summit. So you can buy it right there. I'll have a copy. I'll have a signed copy for you there,
That's
Taj.
great.
So that leads in perfect, to the CRE Tech Summit that we're doing in Austin with Stacey Mooney at Retail Live. I'm very excited about it. It's basically going to be a couple of brief presentations and very interactive Q&As during the registration period of Retail Live when people have some time to kill. So I called Stacey and I said, hey, I think this is something people would be interested in. And she agreed, and then we got hooked up. And so Taj and Leasecake are actually going to be a sponsor of it. And Taj is going to be giving a presentation with me as well. We're going to discuss technological trends, automation of commercial real estate. It's going to be really neat. So, Taj, I'm really excited about it. I'd love to hear your thoughts on what this summit could be, where technology is taking commercial real estate, and maybe how other tech entrepreneurs that you know or have heard of are, kind of coming into this plane.
Yeah, sure. Well, first of all, I think Retail Live has nailed it in terms of timing, in terms of message, right?
Yep.
Because we live in it's an entire retail marketplace, right? We have seen very strong retail players, whether it's quick serve or salons or personal services, just really grow despite COVID. So everyone wants to reconnect, tell their stories, and reactivate deal flow. So with the hundreds of attendees, with the CRE Tech Summit, I think the timing is perfect for the strong to get stronger. Yeah. Right?
No doubt.
And so we're really bullish on the remainder of 2021 and beyond. I think it's bringing together the best and brightest minds across the brokerage community, franchisors, franchisees, as well as smart lawyers and CPA firms and insurance brokers. There's an entire ecosystem.
It is.
Because this is not just brokers, landlords, and tenants, right? In terms of sharing and connecting on LinkedIn.
Symbiotic ecosystem.
It's an entire ecosystem. So we've always said, hey, Leasecake is better when shared. And I think LinkedIn's certainly better when shared, no question about it. Stories are better when shared. And having brokers who understand the power of their personal brand, the power of how they communicate on deal flow, I think that's where I think Retail Live will just absolutely explode. How do we multiply this and take it to the next level?
To the CRE Tech Summit that we're doing in Austin with Stacey Mooney at Retail Live, I'm very excited about it. It's basically going to be a couple of brief presentations and very interactive Q&As during the registration period of Retail Live when people have some time to kill. So Stacey did such a good job when COVID hit. She just really kept her presence out there. And because she did that to keep her brand alive, because she went through a really rough ordeal with the show getting canceled and all that kind of stuff.
Absolutely.
And so but she kept it alive, and now she did an awesome job in Orlando. I'm really excited about about Austin, and I'm looking forward to being able to sit down with you. And then also Alex Servacio is going to be presenting. He's going to be talking about, Alex is one of my other partners. He's going to be talking about targeted marketing, and he's an expert in the non-LinkedIn mediums. He's done a lot with John Morgan, a bunch of professional athletes, George Raveling, the legendary basketball coach, Instagram, Facebook. He also knows how to make all that targeted marketing stuff that we see on our phones kind of buzz, geofencing and all that. So he's going to talk about that. I think that is in its infancy in commercial real estate. Nobody's using paid ads. I think I'm one of the only ones that experiments with it, at least that I know of. And so I think there's going to be a lot more of that occurring in the future, especially once the big companies with the big budgets get wind of how to do it right. And then Matt, who's behind the camera right now, him and I, from noon to 1, it's going to be a little more informal. We're going to be in there basically having a creative workshop that anybody that wanted to come in, ask about first-time publishing. I just finished my book. I've signed I signed a major publishing deal for a second version of it. Anybody who wants to talk about blogs, videography, motion graphics, creative marketing assets, newsletters, all the stuff Matt helps me with. We're willing to share our knowledge and how we kind of run through those processes, and it's going to be just kind of more of a roundtable chit chat. And I don't know how many people will want to come. It could be a very small group, but just happy to share our creative process.
Yeah, so. Absolutely. I mean, in the end, it's all about education, right? We're in the education business.
Yep.
How do you open people's eyes to new deals, new technologies, new ways to market?
Yeah.
And I think it's definitely needed. So I'm pretty sure you're going to have a packed house.
Yeah, and we're excited that you could be there. You could be there with us. This is the incubator year, but I think it's going to be very informational. I do think there's a lot of very good executors out there in commercial real estate that are trying to figure out how to bridge that gap. They know they need to hone their skills online, and so I think there's a market for guys like us to teach them, share the knowledge, and help our platforms in the process. So yeah, man. Well, great. Well, Taj, I think the next time I'll see you is in Austin at the CRE Tech Summit. I really appreciate you coming on and interviewing with me.
Yeah, thanks a lot,
cool.
David.
Thanks a lot, Taj. Appreciate it.